At least 3 Israelis were killed and 20 others were wounded in Jerusalem Tuesday in a pair of near-simultaneous attacks by Palestinians that mark the most serious escalation of a month-long wave of violence. Police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld told the Associated Press that 2 attackers stabbed and shot people on a bus before one of the attackers was killed and the other was captured. 2 people were killed in the attack. Israeli media, citing police, reported that 16 others were wounded. The Jerusalem Post reported that the bus attack took place in the Arman Hanitziv neighborhood in the southern part of Jerusalem. The paper said one of the deceased victims is a 60-year-old man, but had no further details. 4 of the wounded were taken to hospitals, 1 with serious injuries and 3 others with moderate injuries. Almost simultaneously, another attack at a bus stop in another part of the city killed at least 1 person before the attacker was shot and killed by police. The Jerusalem Post also reported that the perpetrator of the bus station attack rammed his car into the bus stop before getting out and stabbing pedestrians. In addition to the deceased victim, police said 3 others were wounded in that attack. Police closed major highways leading in and out of Jerusalem, while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called an emergency meeting of his security cabinet, where police were to present a plan to halt the violence. Police spokeswoman Luba Samri said the country's internal security minister, Gilad Erdan, was considering a number of immediate steps, including a closure on Arab neighborhoods in East Jerusalem, where many of the attackers have come from, and making it easier to get gun licenses. At the scene of one of the attacks, Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat called on the government to seal off the West Bank and certain Arab neighborhoods of East Jerusalem to quell the wave of attacks that have struck the city. Earlier Tuesday, Rosenfeld said a Palestinian man from East Jerusalem stabbed another man waiting at a bus stop on the main thoroughfare of Ra'anana, a quiet city north of Tel Aviv. The Israeli was moderately wounded and the attacker was apprehended and beaten by local residents before he was taken to a hospital. Since the Jewish New Year last month, 7 Israelis have been killed and dozens wounded in a shooting, a stoning and a series of stabbings. At least 27 Palestinians been killed by Israeli fire, including 11 identified by Israel as attackers and the rest in clashes between stone throwers and Israeli troops. On Monday, Palestinians carried out 3 stabbings in Jerusalem, leaving a teenage Israeli boy in critical condition. The unrest began last month with clashes at Jerusalem's most sensitive holy site and quickly spread across Israel and into the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The attackers, many of them teenagers, have had no affiliation with militant groups, and the seemingly random nature of the stabbings has made it difficult to predict or prevent them. The use of vehicles and firearms in Jerusalem on Tuesday, however, marked a more serious level of violence and bring back memories of the deadly attacks that plagued Israeli cities during last decade's second Palestinian uprising. Netanyahu has come under heavy criticism for failing to stop the violence, and an opinion poll this week showed that more than 70% of the public is dissatisfied with his handling of the crisis. Some of the attacks have been carried out by members of Israel's Arab minority, who frequently suffer discrimination and identify with their Palestinian brethren in the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza Strip. In a fiery speech to Parliament on Monday, Netanyahu accused the country's Arab leaders of helping incite weeks of violence. Israeli Arab towns called a general strike Monday to protest recent tensions. The violence erupted over the Jewish New Year last month, fueled by rumors that Israel was plotting to take over a site holy to both Muslims and Jews. The rumors ignited clashes between Israeli police and Palestinian activists who hurled stones and firebombs at them from inside the mosque, and the violence has spread. Israel has dismissed the rumors and repeatedly said there are no plans to alter a long-standing status quo at the spot, revered by Jews as the site of the biblical temples and today home to Islam's Al-Aqsa Mosque compound.